My next guest is one of America's most well-respected voices on politics and culture. He's also a former cabinet member and a prolific author. Joining us now is Bill Bennett, the first director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy and former U.S. Secretary of Education. You're now the host of the Bill Bennett Show podcast. Right. Welcome to the program.
Right. Welcome to the 21st century.
That's right, where you have to have podcasts and Twitter and Facebook, all of that.
Nobody without all that. That's right.
You wrote the Book of Virtues, which I believe everybody in our newsroom has read. It's just a treasury of moral stories, including stories of the Bible, American history, and fairy tales to modern fiction. It helps shape character for our children and helps their parents, like me, teach morals. The book was released in 1993. Where are we in society now since the writing of this book?
Great question. Not clear, because these are hard things to measure. There's certain clarity about what people think our place is, which is they think we're much worse off. They think we're unhinged, that we've lost all our grasp.
And that we're much more a secular society than we have ever been.
I don't think there's much question about that. There's an age-old question whether you can sustain morals in the absence of religion. I don't think ultimately you can. But the handholds aren't there. The guardrails aren't there in the view of most American people. Now, when you do tests of this, what are the tests? Oh, they leave a $100 bill, with an ID, and do people
return it or not?
Most people actually do, which is quite interesting. So where are they getting that? Or they're getting it from somebody. But there are some signs that things are weakening. We do know our responsibility as adults remains the same anyway. We have to teach it.
Let's move on to some news of the day. The Senate has delayed the health care bill vote. How bad is this for Republicans? Not this delay this time because of Senator John McCain, but overall that they have not been able to come to a consensus so far.
Lauren, in philosophy we have an expression called insufficient options. No good alternatives. All of the options are bad. If they do nothing, it's bad. Ted Cruz was the guy who said, let's give him credit. If you pass this, remember he did Dr. Seuss and did the whole filibuster?
Standing on the floor.
He said, because if you pass this, it will be almost impossible to get it undone, even if you have the White House and both houses of the Congress. He predicted that, and he's right. People get used to these things. They get used to these entitlements.
But they got used to Obamacare.
Yes.
And we're changing that, or they're changing that.
But against public views, against opposition. Now it is favored by more people, according to most polls. So there's a problem. But look, Republicans should have been readier. Shakespeare says readiness is all, and they weren't ready on this. What they're going to do is pass something which looks a lot like Obamacare. I think Rand Paul is right about that. But I think they have to, because they can't do nothing. Will it pass? Boy, I don't know. I'll tell you when you're looking at it, because John McCain is out for a day, and that puts the thing right on the edge. That tells you just how close it is.
In your recent podcasts, and you can find that at BillBennett.com, you say that the Donald Trump email story is a political problem, but you don't see it as an impeachable offense. But there are those in Congress who are really gunning for the president. What does this say about the relationship between the president and Congress?
It's very bad, or at least between the president and the Democrat part of Congress. But this just reflects where society is. My friend Alan Gelzo, great historian at Gettysburg, who's a scholar of Lincoln and the Civil War, says we are the most divided we have ever been as a country, except for the Civil War. I don't know if that's true. I think maybe 1876 to 1900 was pretty serious too, but it is serious. The divides are very real, and the hatred of Trump is obvious. I mean, I saw Ronald Reagan taking over the Coles, the Bushes. Never saw anything like what was done to Dan Quayle, but this is
potato.
But this is. They will not stop until they can remove him, and impeachment will never leave their minds. They think he is an illegitimate president, and he can expect 3 or 7 more years of this.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You betcha.
Bill Bennett, first director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, former Secretary of Education.
Thank you.